seeing yourself flying in a dream is one of the most powerful, meaningful, and spiritually rich dream experiences because flying is a symbol of freedom, elevation, ambition, spiritual growth, divine help, success, escape, and transformation. And such a dream often leaves the dreamer feeling amazed, hopeful, curious, or confused. After waking, and according to Islamic dream interpretation and psychological symbolism, seeing yourself flying does not carry one single meaning, but rather changes according to the height, direction, control, fear, environment, and emotions felt during the flight. And in Islam, flying in a dream is often associated with honor, status, journey, spiritual elevation, answered prayers, and nearness to Allah, especially if the flight is smooth, controlled, and peaceful, because rising above the ground symbolizes rising above worldly limitations, sins, fears, and difficulties, and if a person sees themselves flying with wings, it indicates lawful means, divine support, and clear guidance while flying without. Wings often represent sudden change, ambition, strong desire, freedom, or a spiritual experience, and if the dreamer is a righteous person, flying can symbolize spiritual elevation, increased faith, closeness to Allah, acceptance of dua, or success in both worldly and religious matters, and scholars have stated that flying from one place to another indicates travel, migration, change of condition, or moving from hardship to ease, and if the dreamer flies from a low place to a high place, it symbolizes progress, success, honor, promotion, knowledge, and victory over enemies, while flying from a high place to a low place may indicate loss of status, pride, downfall, or warning against arrogance, and if the dreamer flies happily with confidence, it reflects inner peace, hope, optimism, strong self-belief, and trust in Allah, while fear during flight reflects uncertainty, anxiety, fear of responsibility, or fear of change. And if the dreamer falls after flying, this indicates fear of failure, warning against overconfidence, or a test. After success, and Islamically, it serves as a reminder that all blessings are from Allah and must be protected with humility, gratitude, and obedience. And if a sick person sees themselves flying, it can symbolize recovery, relief, or in some interpretations, departure from this world, depending on the context, emotions, and surrounding signs. And if a prisoner, oppressed person, or someone in hardship sees themselves flying, it is a strong sign of freedom, relief, victory, and divine justice. And psychologically, flying represents desire for independence, escape from pressure, emotional freedom, ambition, and control over life, and such dreams often appear when a person is breaking limitations, achieving goals, or longing to escape stress, restrictions, or emotional burdens. And if the dreamer flies over water, it symbolizes control over emotions, faith during trials, and spiritual strength, while flying over mountains indicates overcoming major obstacles, enemies, or fears, and flying over cities, people, or land reflects leadership, vision, authority, ambition, or desire for recognition. And if the dreamer flies into the sky toward light clouds or brightness, it represents spiritual awakening, divine mercy, hope, guidance, and closeness to Allah, while flying into darkness, storm, or chaos indicates confusion, fear, misguided ambition, or lack of direction. And if the dreamer flies with others, it symbolizes shared goals, partnership, leadership, influence, or guidance. And if someone teaches the dreamer how to fly, it represents mentorship, spiritual guidance, knowledge, or support from someone wise. And if the dreamer cannot control flying or crashes, it indicates lack of preparation, unrealistic goals, emotional imbalance, or warning to slow down. And if the dreamer flies effortlessly, it indicates that goals will be achieved with Allah's help without excessive struggle. And if the dreamer sees themselves flying away from danger, enemies, or fear, it indicates divine protection, escape from harm, and answered prayers. And in Islam, flying dreams often come as glad tidings for believers, warning for the heedless, encouragement for the fearful, and motivation for the struggling. And this dream reminds the dreamer that Allah is capable of raising a person from the lowest state to the highest position, and that true elevation comes through faith, humility, patience, obedience, and reliance on Allah. And after seeing such a dream, Islam advises gratitude, prayer, reflection, and using blessings wisely, because flying is not just about freedom, but responsibility and accountability, and overall seeing yourself flying in a dream is a sign of potential growth, transformation, hope, success, and spiritual elevation if accompanied by righteousness. sincerity and trust in Allah, and when fear, arrogance, or confusion dominate the dream, it becomes a warning to correct intentions, balance ambition with humility, and seek guidance before taking major steps in life. And dreams speak in symbols, and flying is the language of the soul, calling the dreamer to rise above fear, sin, limitation, and doubt, and move toward purpose, faith, and fulfillment.